He's either eating edibles, smoking a shit ton of weed, on sedatives, or is a full-blown dementia patient that needs to be hospitalized ASAP. Here is Trump claiming that students at Harvard can't add 2 + 2. Play the clip.
You do not want the best and brightest from around the world to come to Harvard.
I do, but a lot of the people need remedial math. Did you see that? Where the students can't add 2 and 2 and they go to Harvard. They want remedial math, and they're going to teach remedial math at Harvard. No, wait a minute. So why would they get in? How can somebody that can't add or has very basic skills, how do they get into Harvard?
Everybody that goes to Harvard knows that 2 + 2 is 4. Everybody. I don't even need to go personally question each person there, but I would even opine to say that within a 20-mile radius, everybody knows that 2 + 2 is 4. You're a liar. You can't even say math because you're all liquored up or something. Remedial math. You know, this is lies. This is stupid. This is a stupid person saying stupid shit about one of the crown jewels of American education, Harvard University.
He just wants to browbeat who he's mad at. He's mad at Harvard because Harvard will not appease him. Full stop.
All right, here's a rumor that I've seen. I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it's important for us to talk about it. Since he likes to traffic in rumors, we're going to too. Put this up. Barron was rejected by Stanford, Harvard, and Columbia. These 3 are the most prominent universities in the country. Colleges Trump attacks are the ones that, with all of his money, said no, endowment will let Barron in. And so I don't know if this is true or not, and I don't know why he's got his panties in such a wad over Harvard. But I mean, this kind of makes sense. I mean, if Melania is on his case about it, and that's where Barron wanted to go, you know how it doesn't take much to get a bee in his bonnet, and then he just goes and goes and goes and goes on it.
Well, he's the pettiest man on planet Earth. So it would not surprise me if that's what was behind all this. But at the end of the day, he wants everybody to kiss the ring. He wants everybody to suck up and do what he says. You've seen law firms do it. You've seen certain universities do it. And Harvard's just saying flat ass no.
Right. But there seems to be a lot more focus on Harvard than on other universities. I mean, he is myopically fixated and focused on it, and members of his administration are as well. And you're right. Harvard has said, fuck you. Let's go to court. We'll see you in court. We've been around a lot longer than your 4-year lame duck session is going to be, buddy. Let's tee it up. Let's go. All right. Here's Pete Buttigieg, who I think is one of the smartest, most effective speakers the Democratic Party is putting forward right now. And he says, Pete Buttigieg stands up for Harvard. America cannot long remain free, nor first among nations, if it becomes the kind of place where universities are dismantled because they don't align politically with the current head of the government. And, you know, this is at the core of what the MAGA movement is they want to be the thought police.
Right.
They want to control what everybody thinks. And the one thing that America and Americans should be is you don't have to like it. You can say, I'm an American, but I don't like it here. Can all the people on the right have a stage 5 meltdown over that and call you unpatriotic? Yes. Free speech, free speech. Free thought, free thought. This is healthy. The fact that these people are so triggered by opposing thoughts that happen to be rooted in critical thinking and facts is a real tell as to the authoritarian play that they are aiming at here, because all authoritarians go after universities. And I think they're thinking if we get Harvard, and then maybe this thing with Barron, because that's probably something that the Trojan horse people that wrote in with him on could get him riled up about.
Absolutely.
You know, he's got to have some personal grievance to keep going at it. But I think Pete is 100% right here.
Well, he's absolutely right. And the First Amendment is one of the core foundations of the Constitution and of the United States. And what Trump is saying is you have to think like MAGA. Everybody has to think like MAGA. And you know what that is? That's a fucking cult. When everybody has to agree with the leader, it's a cult.
Yeah. And, you know, I want you to support our show by supporting our sponsors. That our sponsors help us get this news and analysis to you every day. And I want to tell you guys, I have had this really funky rash and it's been driving me crazy. It's itching. I'm like, I've got to go to the doctor, but how do I find a dermatologist? I have the best thing for you. It is an app called ZocDoc. Pumps and I have been using it, and it is so helpful to get you right in the doctor's office.
What I like about ZocDoc is it tells me how far away the doctor is and if he or she takes my insurance before I go. So I know that I'm getting somebody that is close to my home and takes my insurance before I leave my house.
Listeners, ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. Appointments made through ZocDoc also happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/IHIP to find and instantly book top-rated doctors today. That's ZocDoc.com/IHIP, ZocDoc.com/IHIP. Okay, back to Trump's trying to dismantle Harvard. I found this comic online today and put this up. I thought this was so good. So it says, higher learning, and you have the law firms bending the knee. Columbia University bending the knee. Jeff Bezos with the Washington Post bending the knee. And Harvard looking right up at him and saying no. And this is a time we are living in a historical moment. This is a time where integrity rises. This is a time where you see the cowardly actions of the other people within that cartoon collapsing and clamoring. This is the time where you see people that favor long-term stability over short-term gains, people that lack impulse control. All of these people that are bending the knee, there's something in them that they cannot play the long game. And I really, really commend Harvard for standing up and saying no. This institution has been around for, 200 years or more. And this presidency of this dipshit who is 80, 79. We play videos in here all the time where he's slurring and incoherent. And just a complete shit show disaster of a person. And you're going to go all chips in on bending the knee to this guy when he only has 3.5 years left of his term. And you're going to throw Columbia University, your law firms, the Washington Post, which used to be stand up to corruption. And now they're just all bending the knee. It's so gross. And I think it's just so important that we platform people that have the guts and allow their integrity to rise.
I completely agree. And one thing that I was ignorant to, and I know for a fact all MAGA is ignorant to, is how much Harvard and these other universities, medical research, breakthroughs that we make medically. I didn't know Harvard was the #1 cancer research in the entire world. I didn't know that. And so when you cut off funding to these institutions, you're not just saying, oh, screw you libs. You are cutting people off for medical devices, medication that could help them live longer. People are going to die because these universities are no longer able to research, and their researchers are going to Europe.
And, at the core of this is Donald Trump cares only about his person and his personal life.
Right.
Over the weekend, I watched the retirement ceremony of my favorite tennis player, Rafael Nadal, at Roland Garros. And it was this great ceremony on the red clay there on the court, Philippe Chatrier. And that's what that court where he won all his 14 Grand Slams, it was always there. Well, he has been so dominant on red clay that the organizers of Roland Garros offered to rename the stadium from Philippe Chatrier to the Rafael Nadal Stadium. And Rafa Nadal said no. Some things and some traditions need to stay the same. And I thought to myself, if I'm watching this, if Donald Trump could rename airports, highways, if it could be the United States of Trump.
Oh, yes.
He would do it in a heartbeat. And you have this person who is just so inherently selfish and narcissistic. And you have the people that in this country that have always spoken about integrity and humility and honesty. And these same people, these moral majority Republicans, now vote and put all chips in on this guy who has zero integrity, zero level of honesty. I mean, about anything.
About anything.
And would completely put his name on the $1 bill, 5, 10, 20, 100 tomorrow with his photograph and wouldn't even feel embarrassed by that.
No, if he's not embarrassed in his cabinet meetings where they're all have lips plastered on his ass and they are saying nothing but bullshit, he would not be embarrassed if I got out a chisel and went over to Mount Rushmore today and chiseled his face. He digs it because you can't fill him up. He's so empty. He's so broken. You cannot fill him up.
Which leads me to the brokenness in 77 million Americans that voted for this man, that tell their kids and their spouses and the people in their lives, be humble, have integrity, be kind, be honest. But when it comes to him, they carve out all of these things that we're supposed to value as a culture and as a society, which makes me think, do we even value that? Or has it always been a ruse? Has it always been a lie? Do we lie to the American public and tell them, oh, look at all of these things? Meanwhile, we're concentrating wealth at the top. And I think that's what we've been doing. And I think the gig is up. And I think it's time to get true progressive voices that can be the Harvard that stand up and don't bend the knee in any way, shape, or form to this presidency, like Cory Booker just did with that vote for Jared Kushner's dad. We can't have it. This is a moment of extreme spine, ironclad spine. You cannot bend a second. All right, listen up, guys. Pumps and I wrote a manifesto. It's out now. It's called Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches, which we are all living in right now. But it's not a political book. It's a book about our friendship and our trials and tribulations and our many, many failures. All right, please subscribe to our channel and we'll see you all later.